Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. I am Marília Mendes Ferreira. I'm the director of the Laboratory of Academic Writing at USP, São Paulo, Brazil. And this is our second jornada. Now we had one last year, and this year we are in the virtual mode like everyone. So I'd like to welcome everybody who got interested in Violeta's lecture. So I'm going to start right up introducing my colleague. She is a professor at the Pontificia Universidad Javeriana at Cali in Colombia. I'm going to read through her resume so it becomes faster for all of us and you get a chance to see what she does. So Dr. Violeta Molina-Natera holds a PhD in education, a master's degree in linguistics and Spanish, and she's a speech therapist. Currently, she's the director of the Department of Communication and Language at Pontificia Universidad Javeriana at Cali, Colombia. Dr. Natera is a member of Grupo de Investigación, Comunicación y Lenguajes under research stream Estudios del Lenguaje. She is the founder and former director of Centro de Escritura Javeriano, the founder and former president of La Red Latinoamericana de Centros y Programas de Escritura. She is a member of International Writing Center Association of Latin America, and she also she also in other part of the Transnational Writing Research Consortium. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the word to Violeta with the talk Writing Centers in Latin America, What, Who, and How. And I'd like to thank her again for accepting our invitation.
Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. I am really happy to be with you, and I want to thank to Marilia for this invitation. I was researching writing centers for about like 10 years, and I always have the question and the curiosity: what is happening in Brazil? What is happening in Brazil with writing centers? Are there any writing center, or what's going on? In a conference of IWCA, which was held in like I don't remember the year, but it was on Pittsburgh, I knew a person from Brazil. If I don't know if she is connected, her name is Fernanda, and she started to talk to me about writing centers in Brazil and how universities are interested in support students to develop language skills, written skills, and especially in English, but also in Portuguese. So with my PhD research, I always have the curiosity, and in 2015, we launched a book about the panorama of writing centers and writing programs in Latin America. Sadly, Brazil wasn't present in that book, but I am really happy that in those conversations, we are really aware that in Brazil, things are happening. So as a representative of Latin America for the board of the International Writing Centers Association, we are really happy to know that Brazil is interested in knowing about writing centers. Please forgive my grammars. Please forgive my English. I don't remember how long I have been
Don't worry about that.
But if I need to do some code switching to Spanish, I think it's not going to be a problem.
No, not at all.
So let me talk to you about writing centers in Latin America. As I told you, my doctoral research was about writing centers and also writing programs in Latin America. And today I wanted to make this presentation in three different perspectives. So today, let me start with a short introduction about myself and my history with writing centers to make you some context about Latin America, because I know that you are interested in know what is happening in our continent, but also to share the three main points, the three key points of the conferences. What is a writing center? Who are the people involved in writing centers? How to do tutorings, how to do that a writing center function correctly or just function. And a short conclusions, and of course, my favorite part is at the when I finish with some question and answer that I will be more than happy to answer. First, I want to talk to you about who am I and what is my history regarding writing centers. As Marilia mentioned, I am the founder of the Centro de Escritura Javeriano in Pontificia Universidad Javeriana in Cali, Colombia, where I am actually working. And 12 years ago, when I came up with the idea of a writing center, I have no neighbors who were working with writing centers, and it was something that people don't know in Colombia, and I didn't have any colleagues to talk with. I didn't have any books or references to start to study. And I just have some links, Googling, and that's all. I truly believe in writing center as a possibility to make an improvement in the academic quality in my university. So when I start to research, some issues came up. The first one was tutor selection and training. Who will be doing tutorings? And we propose the idea of peer tutors, which is the most common model in US. And we start to see if this could be a possibility that we can work with. And we start to look what students could have the profile to be a tutors. And the proposal that I made to my university is, okay, training is really important to make that a writing center function well. So I propose a course, a 2-credit course that tutors mandatory have to make. And after this course, we select the chosen ones. So not every students that course this subject will be finally chosen as a tutors. Is like a selection process, a 1-semester selection process. The other issue that came up is the institutional recognition. if academic people in Colombia don't know about what is a writing center, less the people of my university knows about what is a writing center. So I have to think about how we can install the idea of a writing center, how what kind of strategies we need to do with faculty, with academic directive, in order to they understand uh, how we can help each other. And it was a very interesting work with many stakeholders, deans, the principals, the vice president of my university, and it was a really nice challenge, which I always recommend to anyone who is interested in start a new writing center. The other issue was I don't know anyone who is working with writing center. How can I start to know colleagues? And happily, in some conferences, I came up with the two writing centers that were before mine. The first one was in Puerto Rico, and the second one was in Mexico. So happily, in one Cátedra UNESCO, I came up with the two directors, and it was like I don't know, like a match when you know these people that, oh, she thinks like me, she's pursuing the same like me, and it was a happy coincidence to know people that are working in the same direction. And the other, and it's a permanent task that we are working, is the mission. What are going to do? What are we going to do? What is we are going just to do tutorings and workshop, everything that people ask for. We are going to do style correction. What are we are going to do? How we are going to establish our mission? And this is a process that I really recommend to other writing centers, to think about why you are in your university. What is your purpose? What do you want to do? How you can make a difference and establish a mission. This is an exercise that we eventually, I don't know, like every 3 or every 4 or 5 years, we revise our mission and we came up with a new mission. This one is the mission that we work this year. Actually, I am not the writing center director, because now I am department director. My colleague Karen Lopez, she is the writing center director, and we work together in the development of this mission. So the Centro de Escritura Javeriano mission is develop innovative strategies to strengthen academic writing through systematic methodologies centered on the writer to contribute to the consolidation of a disciplinary field particular of Latin America. As you see, there are some key points, like we pursue to be innovative. For example, like 2 months ago, we launched a free online course about the seventh version of APA rules. It's a free online course. It's in Spanish, of course, but for example, this I don't even find that in English, like a free course to learn about the APA rules. We try to be innovative. Systematic methodologies. We are constantly revising our tutoring session in order to improve them. The last one is one part of the missions that I am really committed with. So consolidation of a disciplinary field, particular of Latin America, because writing center studies, as we know, came from the United States, but here in Latin America are starting to happen things, and we are starting to publish some research, and we need to be together, to be closer in making research and making a disciplinary field about writing center studies in Latin America, and with an own identity. So we are really committed with that in the Centro de Escritura Javeriano. Oh, I don't know why it's not passing. Okay, let me see. Now pass many of them. Okay, was the last one. Latin America. I was talking about Latin America. Briefly, I am not going to share about a whole panorama. In Latin America, there are writing centers in Puerto Rico, in Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, Uruguay, Chile, Argentina, and now in Brazil. Actually, those are the results of my research. Maybe there are some other writing centers, I don't know, in Bolivia or in Costa Rica. I don't know. The writing centers that I know so far are in those countries. And also we have the Red Latinoamericana de Centros y Programas de Escritura, which is a Latin American association which has held like 3 international conferences. No, 4, sorry. The first 2 conferences were in Colombia. The third was in Chile. The fourth was last year in Mexico. And we don't know where going to be the 5th one, but we will be happy if people from Brazil come to this conference and join us in this Latin American movement. We have the recognition of the International Writing Center Association. I think something is happening because this is too slow. Okay, and something that is really interesting in Latin America from my research results, it's the tiny line that separate writing centers and writing programs, because I think that there are people from the United Kingdom, I heard, and from India, I don't know, and I think there are people from other regions different than Latin America. So I want to share you something that is unique, that is from us, and is this idea that there are no clear boundaries between what is a writing center and what is a writing program in Latin America. In the United States, people have the clear differences. Writing center just do tutorings, and writing programs have, for example, the writing across the curriculum programs, and especially they have all the courses, all the composition classes, all the writing classes in an institution, in a university. And there was something that started to appear in Latin America about writing programs who start to came up and writing centers. There some writing programs uh, identify themselves like a writing centers, and some writing centers identify themselves like a writing programs. You know, it's a tricky thing. And when I start to research about those programs, not necessarily there was coincidence between the name, the identification, and the practices that they are doing. So let me briefly explain the main differences. A writing center is concerned about tutorings. Tutorings at the heart of a writing center. If a writing centers do not tutoring, it's not a writing center, it's something different. But a writing center is specialized in tutorings. Tutorings is an individual practice. It's like a peer-to-peer practice. No, is focused on learning, on the learning of the writing, of the and is writer centered and is horizontal because there is a peer-to-peer relationship. In contrast, writing programs focuses in classes. The work usually is not one-on-one, but is in groups. But in Latin America, is common the one-on-one work when a language teacher work with a disciplinary teacher, helping with the preparation of the writing activities in the disciplinary classes. This is the only one-on-one work, but they are focused in the groups in the class. The focus is not about the learning, but the teaching. How the teacher, how the professor of a disciplinary field or a language field uh, show about writing and genre, anything else. And the writing program is text centered. They are really interested in disciplinary genre or the characteristics of the academic writing, everything about academic literacy. This is specialized for writing program, and the relationship is more vertical because is the relationship between teacher student. So this is the brief description of these differences. And I think it's interesting to know that this is a particular characteristic in Latin America, and I don't think that this is bad, that we are confused, that we don't know how to do, that we are not doing well. I think this is building our identity. So let me be clear about this, that if there are no clear boundaries, that doesn't mean that we are doing bad. Okay. We are going to start to explain what is a writing center and main characteristics of writing center. Writing center is about tutoring. As I mentioned, writing center specialize in work with a writer who is wanting to improve or strengthen the writing skills. In the tutorings, uh, the conversation is the key word. Tutoring is a conversation. Tutoring is not a class. A class is a vertical relationship. Tutoring is a conversation between pairs. As I always say, text is the pretext in a tutoring. Most of our students come to the writing center with a text that they want to revise in order to improve here or here, and we use this test as a pretext for this conversation that I am telling you. This conversation about you as a writer, your relationship with this text, your relationship with the subject. And in tutoring, the more experienced peer, which is called a tutor, helps another to develop skills. I want to be clear with something. Tutoring is not for writers that don't know how to write. Tutoring is for everyone who is writing. Everyone needs a tutor. I am more than sure that people that are listen to me or that are seeing this presentation at some point in their lives wanting to have somebody who read your paper, show you any feedback, so everyone, even the more experienced writer, needs a tutor at some point in their life. This strategy to help the more experienced help to the other who is less experienced is what Vygotsky called scaffolding. And I know that many of you know this theory of scaffolding, so I am not going to explain it. Tutoring is like a talk, as I mentioned, is a conversation. Talk, listen, motivate, and share. If I can resume, what is a tutoring? Is that talk to the other people, listen. I always, when I am in the training course with my tutors, I always remind them, you have two earrings and one mouth, so you have to talk the half of the time that the tutti is talking. So you need to do that the tutti, that the writing, talk more than you. And this is something that is shocking to them, because they come with the idea that I'm going to teach you, so I am going to dominate the conversation. No, it's about listening. Motivate the other, the writer, because many of them came up with frustration, like I am a terrible writer, I am doing everything bad, my teacher hates me because I don't write well. So we need to motivate. In the preparation course, I always say to my tutors, you first have to kiss the writer, and then snap it. Then going to the part that is not going well. So first, motivate, say something good, something that encourage the writer, and then point the needs that they need, that they are asking for, and then share strategies, share references, share whatever you think is necessary. This is a very recognized quotation of Stephen North in an iconic text about writing center. Maybe in a perfect world, all writers would have their own ready auditor, a teacher, a classmate, a roommate, an editor, who would not only listen, but draw them all, ask them questions they would not think to ask themselves. A writing center is an institutional response to this need. So you can see here in this quote the main characteristic of what a tutor do, what do they do, but also I want to show you this institutional response, because some colleagues came with the idea, I have a writing center in my class, I do tutoring to my students, so I have a writing center. Um, we need to be clear that a writing center is not an individual initiative. A writing center needs the support of the institutional stakeholders, because is a response to the academic needs, is a response that are looking for the improvement of the academic quality in the university. So a writing center is not an individual need. An individual who is passionate and who find strategies at least maybe can to push the idea of a writing center in the institution, but is not I am going to help my students in my free time, so I can say that I am the writing center director because I have a writing center with my students in my classes. Okay, for the next part, if the presentation allow me, what is not a writing center? What is not a writing center, or what is not a tutoring? A tutoring is not about the text. As I mentioned, a tutoring is writer centered. So I am not pursuing to improve the punctuation or the spelling or whatever. I am trying to the writer understand what are the characteristic of their own writing that she or he needs to improve. So it's not about the text, it's about the writer. Writing center is not a physics shop. It's not this place that you send your text in order that someone else correct it, in order that someone else make the proofreading. So it's not a physics shop. It's not about evaluation, because we don't have the relationship that have a teacher and a student. We don't make the assignments, and we don't make the evaluation of these texts. We are not worried about what are the grades of the text that came out from the writing center. We are not, this is not our business. We are trying to the writer understand, develop autonomy, and eventually they don't need us in the future. If they develop autonomy, understanding how to write, they don't need us in the future. And this is an interesting process when students came in what we call a process. A process is students going to the writing center like a semester or 2 months or 3 months. They have appointments. they have appointments specialized in the specific writing skills that this writer need. So those tutorings are not about one particular text. Sometimes this text, as I said, is a pretext. Okay, you are working in this essay. We are working in punctuation. Let's work punctuation in this essay. Writing center is not for poor writers, as I said. Is everybody needs a tutor. It's not a private class, and sometimes when there are teachers who also are tutors, this is a common confusion. I am going to teach you. I am going to have a private class with you, and it's not a private class. It's a tutoring session. It's a conversation. It's about the writers. So it's not I'm going to teach you. And finally, there are no formula for tutorings. Every tutorings are different. Every writer is different, and for the tutors is an enrichment, or it's this experience to working with many different writers, make them very aware of the significance of writing. So there are no formula, like, okay, there are formula for how to introduce you and how to greet the writer and things like that, but there are no the first say that, second say that. No, this is not in a tutoring, as this could happen, for example, in a class. When you prepare a class, sometimes you follow a script, and okay, first I'm going to do this activity, second we are going to put together, and then this activity. No, in a tutoring session this not happened. Okay, now we are going to talk about who are the people that are involved in writing, writing centers or writing tutorings. The first are the most important. Sometimes some directors, things like I am the most important part of the writing center, but the heart of a writing center are the tutors. And I always show the tutors first. Last year in the Mexican conference, we have the privilege to travel with 3 of our tutors who make a workshop, who make a poster sessions, ponencia. I don't know how to say this oral presentation. People were like, oh, they are really really good, and the experience of being tutors make them great. Tutors, a tutor is a peer, and this is something that you have to consider when, for example, you are a teacher and you are working as a tutor, because change the chip, change the mindset of I am a professor, I have a PhD, blah blah blah, and I am not like you. Sometimes this is really difficult. This is really difficult to change the mindset, and to understand that I am not going to teach you, I'm going to help you. So I am an ally in the tutoring session, even if I have 20 years more than you. I am your peer in this tutoring session. I am your peer, even if I have more degrees and more years and whatever. I am your peer and I'm here for you. I am going to help you and we are working together. The tutor is an observer and especially is a good reader. When this text came to the writing center, the tutor acts like an authentic reader. Uh, Tutor come with feedback about, okay, I am reading you and I understand until this part. In this part, I feel like you are trying to say that. Is that what you are trying to say in this paragraph? Please explain me, tell me more about this idea that you are presenting. So this could be the authentic reaction of a reader of this paper. The university sadly only have the idea of the text production, the papers that are written in the university are just directed to the teacher. So the tutoring session give to the writer the opportunity to have a real situation of how my teacher could react when he or she is reading my paper. So the tutor should be a good reader. There are some discussion who is permanent in the writing center world. Actually, I think that yesterday I read some emails in the tutoring in the listserv, writing center listserv, about the generalist tutor, this tutor who is, I don't know, a psychology student or engineering student or communication student, and is working with a medical student or architectural student. So is a tutor who is not working with the disciplinary partners. Some people propose that it's better if you have specialist tutors that is working with texts of their same academic field. And in my case, in the case of Centro de Escritura Javeriano, we have generalist tutor because we have students from many schools, and they work really good with people from different fields. Even they are undergrad students and they work with graduate students. So in my experience, we don't need the specialist tutor. There are many universities that work with this model, and also it works really, really good. So I can see that one or other is better. I can see just that this specialist model work well with us. And in Latin America, as I know, the generalist tutor is the model that everyone is working with. But what need to be the expertise in a tutor? The tutor should be an expert, of course, in listening and in build trust, because this is an important part of the tutoring. This relationship that they build during the tutoring session, this relationship that makes, for example, that a student say to the tutor, I'm going to tell you, I cheat on this paper. I copy and paste this of a website, and but I know that I can show this to my teacher because he's going to catch me, and I don't know what's going to happen to me. So when this rapport, when this trust is built during a tutoring session, they can talk freely about these kind of things. The tutor also should be a specialist in offer strategies, so they can I think is like a buffet that, okay, you can do this, but also you can do this. What do you think about this, and what do you think about this? So the tutor usually offer many strategies during the tutoring session. The tutor does not clone his or her own processes. I am going to teach you the way that I'm doing, so you have to do as I do. No, we are not creating the clones of our processes. We show different ways, and it's okay to say how I can manage this situation. Oh, I have to write an essay who demand me to search. I don't know. Videos, and I have to reference some videos and to talk about to use a video like references and similar situation. You can share your experience, you can share your process, your strategies, but you are not going to say to the other, you have to do as the same like I do. Okay, next one. I don't know why it's so slow. The tutors need training. Tutoring is not something that you just do and that's it. Okay, I'm going to help you with your writing, because does not happen like that. If I say you like, okay, I'm going to help you with your writing, most of times people are going to teach you and correct your paper and not tutor you. So training is necessary. People need to know how to tutor. There are many strategies for tutor training, like a credit-based course. As I mentioned, this is what we do at my university. For example, there are workshops that directors held during summertime or after or before the semester, or during the semester, like, okay, Friday we have workshops once a month or whatever. There are literature specialized on writing tutoring that I truly recommend you, that if you are training tutors, you need to use this specialized literature. Some are starting to appear in Spanish, but there are mostly the literature is in English, and I hope that you can start to publish literature about writing tutoring or writing centers. Um, Sometimes they use like training strategies. These role sessions, these role playing sessions, when a tutor work with others, or sometimes even recording. We use recording of our sessions in order to see what we can improve, or what the tutor need to adjust or need to work with. And sometimes the feedback is by the director, but we really like when we do these sessions to mutual feedback. So for example, we put a recorder or a translation of a part of a tutoring session, and the tutors read the translation or listen this part of the tutoring session and start to make some feedback, and it's really helpful. And we also work with professional development, like if tutors are working in the writing lab, is really good if they have sessions of professional development. It's really a need that in whatever is your field, you always need to have a new information about how to improve yourself as a tutor. Okay, for the next one, okay, this is a quotation from Kenneth Brophy about what is a peer conversation. What peer tutor and tutee do together is not write or edit or least of all proofread. What they do together is converse. They converse about the subject and about the assignment. They converse about, in an academic context, their own relationship and relationships between student and teacher. Most of all, they converse about and pursue to writing. So this is reinforcement about the idea of writing tutoring is about a conversation. How conversations make that people improve their writing. The other role is the director. The director make the academic and administrative decision. Is the people who is leading a writing program or a writing center. The director have to reach out all the institutional levels. Usually is invited to committees, even from other schools, like the medical schools invite you to a committee because they are working with the syllabus and they are committed with how to involve writing in the medicine classes, for example. So it have to reach out all institutional levels, offer strategies about how we can I'm sorry, I don't know, but he copied this from the other, but it's not here. The director reach out the institutional level, especially with reports. Reports are a really important job from the director because they need to be clear, or the administration of your university need to be clear about what are you doing in the writing center. So reports are a really important part of the job of a director. Directors are really busy people. In my research, as you can see, they have between 10 and 20 different functions at the same time. For example, they have classes, they do tutorings, they have theses, they have to publish because they do research, many functions. So directors work not just at the administration level, but also at the academic level. And the administration level is this one that you think that you don't need it, because you are just thinking in the academic things. The directors have many types of labor, and I really like this classification from Caswell, McKinney, and Jackson about these types of labor. Emotional labor. Think about that. The emotional labor that a writing center director does involves care, mentoring, or nurturing of others, building and sustaining relationships, resolve conflicts, managing or display of emotions. Unstated requirement of the job, because when you are, for example, if you are hired to manage a writing center, does not appears on the description of the job, but it takes lot of part. This take much of your time doing this emotional labor, and I think that we need to be aware of that. The everyday labor is the labor that is listed in a job description. Think about that you are hired for managing a writing center, and everything that you have to do. You have to do tutoring. You have to teach because you are going to have 2 classes, and also you have to prepare the tutors, and you have to manage and this is the everyday labor. Yeah, the work that you do every day, the work that when you go out from your house, you are thinking, okay, today I'm going to do this, to do this, to do this. The first one, you are not thinking about this when you go out from your house. And the disciplinary labor is part of the job in with directors are not involved in many cases, is how you share with the academic field, how you participate with the academic field, interaction with other professionals, doing scholarship or research. And I encourage you to this disciplinary labor, because we need this in Latin America. We need to build this academic field in order to have our identity and the respect that we need, not just institutionally, but outside as an academic field. And the other role that we have is really important, and I think that many of you are in this role, the stakeholder, the academic direction. At the beginning, we need to have a directive like a dean, like a vice president, or I don't know in your university how do you call them, but we need those allies. We need, if we are thinking in a writing center at the institutional scope, so we need stakeholders. We need to be in permanent communication. And I always say that report, report, report. It doesn't matter that your dean is not asking you for the report. Doing your report and show your report, send your report to everybody in the university, because you need to show what are you doing. You need that they have you in mind, that okay, I need writing center for this writing center is doing well because they are doing this or this. One piece of advice that I always say to my colleagues is you need to talk the same language of the stakeholders. So talk about accreditation, institutional accreditation, and how the writing center help the stakeholder, help the academic direction of the university with institutional accreditation. Uh, I want to share you, for example, that last night we received the national accreditation of the career of communication, which is in the department that I am directing. And the writing center is put some piece on the puzzle that work for those accreditation processes, And when you are working with deans, with directives, you need to talk the same languages. For example, you need to talk about budget. You need to understand how the institutional budget work. And this is something that we are not prepared for. And we think that, okay, I am just academic. I don't want to learn about budget. No, I am a language professor. I don't need to. No, you have you have to learn about budget. And people that came to the writing center direction usually has no training for administrative issues. The last part of my presentation, and I trying to be short, is the how. Is how, what kind of things happen in a writing center and how to do that. First of one is really important to understand your institutional context. No writing center is similar to other. You can have as a reference, like, okay, I reach a colleague in the United States. He or she is show me about the writing center, and I want to do the same. First, you need to understand your institutional context, because budgets, personal, many things that you need to understand for your writing center depends on your institutional, or on your university. So be clear about that. You can't copy other models. You need to adjust, you need to understand, you need to know many models in other writing centers, but you need to create your own model. Embrace the institutional missions. Understand how your writing center missions embrace the institutional mission. How your writing center missions are working to develop like an activist of the institutional mission. Be aware also of the regional characteristics. For example, in the United States, you can find a tutoring session of 20 minutes. For example, in my country, you have like 10 or 15 minutes just greeting. Hi, how are you? How's the weather? And how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. So you need to be aware of that. You need to be aware of, for example, what other writing centers in your city, in your region are doing. Be aware of all of this, because is important, and we all, not always we are aware of that.
Sorry to interrupt, just to let you know that we are with an hour now. It's around 3 o'clock. Okay, so just to let you know about the time.
Yes, I am going to finish in shortly. Thank you. Reach some other offices in your university to work with is a really good strategy, and reach out faculty. Try to get some allies that can help you to broaden your scope. The other one is to be clear about your principles and values in your writing center. The principles guide the strategic actions that lead decisions making to achieve the vision of the program. So be clear about what are your principles, what is not negotiable, and what are the strategies that are putting together all these principles, and how you are constructing the vision where you can follow your writing center. And the evaluation is the last one that I want to share you. Evaluation, in my research, like 50% of the writing centers mentioned that they don't do any kind of evaluation. And some of the what they say, that okay, we have evaluation, but the evaluation was like the satisfaction surveys taking at the end of the tutoring, like, okay, the tutor was nice, the tutor was on time, like, okay, this is the evaluation. So what are we understanding as evaluation? Evaluation is count how many people you attend this semester. What are we understanding as evaluation? Evaluation is something that should guide you to the point, to the next level that you want to reach. So we need to be clear that satisfaction surveys, for example, not always show you if you are doing well. How do you know that you are doing well in your writing center? I hope you can understand you can understand this. How do we know that we are doing well? Is because this semester we have more students than the last semester? Is that saying that we are doing well, or what else do we need? Evaluation, for example, could be for improvement, like internal, like, okay, tutors are on time for the tutoring session. Okay, this could be for internal improvement. But evaluation could also help us for the report. This report that I recommend you before. At the institutional level, evaluation is really important, but also evaluation could be a form of research. If you thinking in evaluation as a research, you can participate of the academic field when you start to share these research results. So evaluation, for me, is something that writing center needs to be more aware. And finally, the some of the conclusions that I want to share you is about writing center administration. When we are working in writing centers, we are centered in practices, how we are in the spotlight for the institution, how they can see us, and the tutorings and workshops and I don't know, many events or something like that. But the administration is the axis of writing center functioning. The administration is the forgotten piece, because we are most interested in tutorings or in the things that are visible, but the administration is not visible, but is the axis for the others function. If you don't have a good administration, your writing center not necessarily is going well, even if you have many students going every day. Many labors and tasks are involved. As you say, writing center directors are really busy people and have to do a lot of things. So teamwork is need. No, it is needed. Is difficult for me when I understand a writing center with one or two people who are director and tutor, for example. You need a team to work with. Um, this also show the importance of work with other, because a writing center can't be a solo practice. As a Red Latinoamericana de Centros y Programas de Escritura has shown us, we need to work with other writing centers. We need to know what other people are working. We need to know how we can do research together, how we can share practices, how we can put together tutors to share their practices. I think that next week in 2 weeks, I'm not sure, they're going to be tutors, uh, a virtual meetings of Latin American tutors, is in Spanish, but they are going to share experience. So it's really important to work with other writing centers. So if in Brazil there are writing centers in different regions, how great could be that you start to be in contact with others, and also in the others in Latin America. Writing centers are young. Most of them have less of 10 years. So we are in a process of create their own identity, our own identity. As I said before, if we are doing different than US, we are not doing bad. We are doing in our own way. And we need to understand what is our own way in order to build our Latin American Writing Center identity. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Violeta, for such a nice talk. Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much. I'm going to compact here some of the questions that we got from the chat, and Gabriela helped us. One is about the tutoring. People are asking, you said that there is a 2-credit course, but not all the people who took the course are going to be tutors. So if you could talk a little bit about the selection, what you take into consideration to accept the students. And the other question related to tutors is about how do we set expectations for the tutees, for the ones who are being helped? Because in her experience, usually the people that attend the lab, they expect tutors to act as revisers, proofreaders, teachers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. For this first question about how do manage the expectation with the two team, we usually, as I mentioned, we work like a peer tutor level. So they introduce themselves. My name is Violeta. I am 18 years old, even if you don't believe me. and I am engineering student. I am in this minor, and this conversation, this piece of conversation, when you introduce yourself, start to establish like, okay, and actually now when we have this virtual session, it start to change that, because tutees don't start the camera, and the tutor just start the camera at the beginning, and they forget that he's like me, he's the same age like me. And this is first, when you introduce yourself. And also we ask if this is your first tutoring session, and if it's the first tutoring session, we make this clear. I'm here to help you. I am not to correct your paper. I am not to do this. I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to help you to understand, to you make them clear, and this kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah, the other question I think resonates a lot with this one is about how to strategies to change this idea within communities, universities, and that the role of the writing center. And so can you talk about how to approach tutees who are not so comfortable with suggestions?
This is a good one. I am reading another difference on the chat. Please let this one, and I'm going to ask you. Is a regular situation, this kind of negotiation that we have to do? I wrote a paper about this, about how we can manage conflicts during the tutoring session, and this is the most common conflict during a tutoring, when the tutee is not agree with the tutor. So we start to propose another different perspective of the situation, like, okay, why do you think that why do you think that I couldn't understand this paragraph? And okay, no, it's clear for me. I don't want to change anything. But okay, when I read, I understand that because I don't have enough information. For example, it's important, as I say, it's a conversation. It's a conversation, and we need to show if sometime we have really good writers who came to the writing centers, and with those excellent writers, this negotiation is more interesting, is most challenging for our tutors, and is really good. And in this paper, I show some example of good writers negotiation with the tutors.
Violeta, I have to thank you a lot for this. I have so other questions. I would like, if people are interested, email the questions, other questions to the lab email, and then we forward to Violeta, okay? Because I think she can take some time to address that. I have other questions about administration. I just want to emphasize your center deals with the Spanish as first language, right? Just to mark that, okay? Yes, the Spanish.
In Latin America, there are no writing center who work in English. No, in Latin America, we work in Spanish, but some writing center work with Spanish and English too, if they have bilingual tutors. But it's not common. It's not common. So
Ours, we work with Portuguese as first language, English and French as second language, and we are having some bilingual tutors, French, Portuguese, that my partner tutors. Well, thank you so much. Definitely, we'll continue our interaction because we are organizing the writing centers, laboratories. We use this word laboratory here in Brazil. I myself, mine is also that there is a reason behind. I published that and I explained that in a publication. But we call research centers or writing centers or laboratories, and we are combining everybody. I think it's more than 10 now, from the top of my head, that we have. So I'm going to give this list to you because I think definitely we need more interaction, and that's, I think, with this talk, prestigious talks in our jornada, it's going to be the start of a good continuous academic conversation and collaboration.
Yes,
thank you very much
for this conversation. Thank you very much to all the people that are connected. I know that at this part of the year, we don't want to hear about any webinar at all. And I really appreciate that you are here listening this webinar. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I do have to thank you. So thank you all. Take care. Be safe, everybody.